everyone, this is Pico Entertainment and we are back again, and here now we have another video for you, and this will be a non-spoiler review of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Now whilst there won't be spoilers for the movie, there might be ones for other movies and television series within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so just be aware when going into this overall video. Now released on the 11th of November 2022, this is the sequel to the first Black Panther movie from 2018, which was a massive cultural and commercial success, grossing over $1.3 billion at the box office. Now, as most people know, the film's legacy was marred with great sadness when lead actor Chadwick Boseman, who played T'Challa, the King of Wakanda, passed away from stage 4 colon cancer in August 2020. Now, Wakanda Forever still went through production with the decision not to recast the character. Now, the sequel saw the prominent actresses of the first film return, with the likes of Letitia Wright, Lupita Nyong'o, Danai Gurira. We also saw the likes of Winston Duke and Martin Freeman returning in their roles, as well as newer entries such as Dominique Thorne and also Tenoch Huerta-Mahira. Now, the setup of Wakanda Forever is that we return to the technologically advanced nation of Wakanda, where its people are mourning the passing away of their long king T'Challa. We see secret military rogue groups continue to search for vibranium, which is still for the majority under Wakanda's conservatorship. Through a device created by the young college student Riri Williams, an expedition is able to track down vibranium sources underwater. But they trigger the emergence of blue-skinned underwater beings who are led by the supremely powerful Namor. He holds Wakanda responsible for his people potentially being exposed because of T'Challa's willingness to have relations with the surface dwellers that we saw from the first movie. T'Challa's sister Shuri protects Riri Williams from Namor's wrath, and she rejects an alliance with Neymar to attack the world's nations. Retaliating against Wakanda, Neymar plans to overthrow the Earth's nations regardless, and Shuri, alongside the likes of her mother Queen Ramonda, Okoye, M'Baku, Nkoye, must all take a stand to protect Wakanda against the powerful forces of Neymar. Now overall, as a movie, I would say Wakanda Forever is solid with a few flaws, but there's enough sincerity, emotional weight, gravitas and characterization to overcome those issues, and overall I left the movie very satisfied. Now of course, the passing of Chadwick cast a huge shadow over this film, and we knew going into it that there would be certain sequences to provide a meaningful catharsis for both the actor and the character. But I'll give kudos here is that they never exploit or overindulge that situation. It's referenced at the beginning and the end of the movie, but the sequel keeps the focus mostly on its own standalone story. Now, easily the best part of the film are the actors, and most of them are great, producing very strong performances. Angela Bassett exudes her typical commanding presence as Queen Ramonda, giving every line of dialogue that extra weight and passion. The character does take a certain turn in the movie halfway through that I disagreed with, but it didn't hurt the overall performance. She's equally matched by Letitia Wright as Shuri, who really is the emotional heartbeat of the movie, and there are a few interesting developments that they take with the character 2/3 of the way through. There is a certain direction that I didn't expect them to take, and they could have pushed it a bit more had they balanced the film a bit more in terms of its running time, but overall it's still a fine display from the actress. Danai Gurira is great again as Okoye, and she really brought a lot of the more humorous moments. I was a bit worried that she was going to be too jokey and the standalone comic relief, but we do get a story beat that allows her also to have a substantial arc throughout the story. It was good to see Lupita Nyong'o again as Nkoye, projecting that confidence and poise, engaging you to the overall character. We then talk about the new additions and Riri Williams. To be honest, I'm a bit mixed overall. It's one of those cases where you can take the character in small doses. I also had an issue with the fact that at 19 years old, her extremely high competency levels did strain credibility at times, alongside the fact that she's also central to the conflict. I just never found that idea convincing. Again, there was nothing wrong with the performance, but as a character, I'm not overly excited with the upcoming prospect of her own show, Ironheart, which will arrive on Disney Plus sometime next year. We then have to talk about Namor, and I've previously stated on this channel my disapproval of the aesthetic direction taken with the character, simply on the basis that he just doesn't look like the original source material. Now, to be fair, in terms of a purely acting performance, Tenoch Huerta is absolutely fine. There were no issues at all in terms of his delivery or his poise in terms of Namor. But in terms of a character, Namor's motivations are a bit all over the place, despite the heavy backstory exposition that we get halfway through. And yet again, this is a villain that's not really a villain, because we have to empathise and sympathise with his story, and it just leaves things a little wrapped up too nicely and too neatly as we get to the overall climax. I also loved the soundtrack and musical score right throughout this movie. Sometimes it really gave a certain weight and tone to the overall sequences that we saw. Now on to the issues with this film, and there are certain problems aesthetically, especially in terms of the action sequences. There were certain scenes that were a little too dark and muddled, where you could barely make out what was going on. For some reason, director Ryan Coogler uses heavy shaky cam, especially in the earlier sequences, and it's a bit disorientating at times and really takes you out of the moment when the action should be gripping you to the screen. Some of the CGI is very weak and the colours have that muted saturated look about it. Again, you're desensitized because of that green screen effect where we can clearly see the actors aren't really there in terms of the backgrounds that are behind them. Some of Namor's scenes where he's in full flight showcasing all of his powers didn't look convincing at all. And when we visit his underworld city, it didn't really look that impressive. It will draw comparisons obviously to Aquaman, which did a far better job at showcasing Atlantis with far more awe and majesty and colour. But this version here looked very bland and very uninspired and very grey. It just didn't really have the imagination that I felt it should have done. The film, like the first one, suffers from that climatic heavy battle final act, cross-cutting across multiple fights. Again, very rushed in terms of its pacing, and once more taking away the personal edge that these conflicts should have. So if I had to give Wakanda Forever a score, it would be a very tentative 7 out of 10. Now, it's not as good as the first film, and yes, it's easily around 20 to 25 minutes too long. There is a certain lack of pace and momentum that most people may feel that the movie is a bit of a slow burn, but overall there are enough strong elements in terms of the story and the character to make this easily the best entry of Marvel's Phase 4, and I think in terms of paying proper respect to Chadwick Boseman, I think it got it just about right. It never tried to manipulate you. I think there were just enough moments, particularly in the last couple of scenes, where it did eventually hit that emotional impact. And I think overall, in terms of paying respect and homage to the actor, it was overall a job very well done. So that's my overall thoughts and feelings and non-spoiler review of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I will shortly be uploading a spoiler review where I'll go into far more depth and detail over the main standout elements of the film, so look out for that very shortly within the channel. And of course, I will provide commentary on the film's box office performance in terms of its opening weekend, and shortly after, now that Phase 4 has finally come to a close, I will take an overall view of what went on in terms of the good, the bad and the great and the not so great in terms of Marvel's latest collection of movies, and where the franchise can go forward in terms of Phase 5, Phase 6 and presumably Phase 7 as well. So look out for all of that content to come on the channel, and if you have any other suggestions in terms of movies, television, series or any other topics within the industry that you'd like to see me cover, then also let me know within the comments and I will see if I can provide further commentary on you on that subject matter on the future within the channel. Please also hit and like the subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves and I will see you very, very soon.